Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Daybreak. The time right now is 5:31, and now let's get a look outside this morning with Corbin Vogus. So, Corbin,
Yeah,
what can we expect
you gotta
outside?
do some weird things just to wake up at
You
5:30
really
in
do.
the morning, guys.
Yeah, just to keep us going. We at ABC7 want to remind everybody that we are currently in the middle of our Stuff the Bus campaign. Now, as you can see from yesterday, we're in a little bit of a different location. That is because I wanted to kind of show you what we mean by Stuff the Bus. Monday, Senate Republicans blocked a Democratic effort to fund the government and suspend the debt limit, which could mean the country wouldn't be able to pay its bills come mid-October. Here's a live look at the investigation. Officers went door to door on Monday, evacuating residents from their homes as a precaution. We're going to start with breaking news this morning. So a fire is now blazing at 1101 North Cleveland. Now, we do not have much information right now about the fire. We do know that it started around 10:30 this morning. Before you start chipping away at the ice, because I know us as Texans, we're not really used to this. I know I'm not. I got my little snow brusher. You're going to brush it away from you. You look at that, guys. Look at this. This is how much is piled up. Now, in a second, we're going to ask Corbin how much snow we actually got, because this looks like inches of snow. This car has not been used in quite a while. There is a rising threat in the drug epidemic that is bringing Republicans and Democrats together to fight it. A herd of goats got loose in an Atlanta neighborhood yesterday. Let's take a look at your screen. There are new developments in the Gabby Petito investigation. Newly revealed police body cam video is shedding light on that troubling traffic stop in Utah shortly before Petito went missing and was later found dead. That's right. I'm here at the Civic Center, 1 hour out from the annual Black Tie Affair. As you can see, I'm ready, the Northside Toy Drive, and I'm lucky enough to be here with the president and founder of this entire event, Elton Bradley. Elton, how are you doing tonight? You're to worry about, right? Of course. Corbin, I will never. You know what? We should already just say during this cut-in that Corbin's mic will not be on, so just
I remember
wait for
before I said anything, but I was like, it's too late.
Right,
It's
I
too
saw the
late
panic
now.
in your
I stood there, I
eyes.
was like, uh-oh.
And you know, Corbin said something a little interesting in our last cut-in. He said that it is so cold outside that boiling water will make a cloud. And you know, I thought, what better way to prove it than to show you? So I have my boiling water. You can see it steaming. It feels good on the face. And in 3 seconds, I'm going to throw it over here. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Do you see that, guys? How cool is that? In hopes to get tested for COVID-19. But there are many other testing sites in Houston, so why is this site more crowded than the others? You knew you made it when you got to have a milk mustache. Well, it's back. And yes, ads are a part of it, but also videos like these are a part of it. Now, this is showing Olympic swimmer Katie Ledecky swim the entire length of a pool. Look at her go while balancing a glass of chocolate milk right on her head.
That is talent right there.
That's why she went to the Olympics. Yeah, I see that. Well, David, as you can see, the people behind me, they're tired, they're cold, and nobody really wants to be in this situation. But these men and women are far from giving up until they can reach an agreement that satisfies both parties. Loya says the one major thing that keeps them going is the tremendous amount of community support that they get. And tune in tonight at 6. Well, I will still be here at the picket line to tell you more about that community support. And on April 17th, the Texas Board of Education unanimously approved the creation of an African American study course for public schools. With many viable options to choose from, Amarillo ISD went with a program called Black History 365. I spoke with co-founders of the program as well as the district to learn more. We've all heard the phrase, history repeats itself. That's why we spend every year from kindergarten through middle school through high school, learning our history so that we know what not to repeat. But in these times, it's more imperative than ever to learn the history of all Americans from all walks of life. That's where Black History 365 comes in.
It's an adventure for kids, really, to not just African American children, but any student would enjoy this book.
Black History 365 is a comprehensive and interactive U.S. history textbook that fills in the gaps of U.S. history. Now you may be asking, what gaps?
We started with ancient Africa, and the reason why we started with ancient Africa is we did not want to reinforce the notion, either implicitly or explicitly, that Black history started with slavery. And so in the first unit, there are no pejorative images. We talk about the mores, the folkways, the hunting, gathering, fishing industry of North, South, East, West, Central Africa.
But it doesn't end there. Co-founders and authors Dr. Walter Milton and Dr. Joel Freeman wanted to make sure it reached modern times as well. It touches on events as recent as the deaths of George Floyd and John Lewis. They felt that it was important to really dive into all of these topics because...
And it's no secret, many children, particularly Black children, are disengaged and disconnected from the educational process because they don't see themselves in the curriculum at all.
And it hits even closer to home with Amarillo ISD taking on this course as a part of their new African American Studies elective.
So this allows us to really delve in and go deeper and find some of those stories that our students probably haven't heard before.
Staying knowledgeable about your past is important to shaping your future, and partnerships like these will help generations come together and understand each other. Reporting in Amarillo, I'm Madison Smith, ABC 7 News.
This afternoon, family, friends, and community members gathered for the funeral to say goodbye to 32-year-old Tomas Mateo, who was murdered late Monday night. ABC 7's Madison Smith was exclusively invited to attend the service today to speak with those closest to him.
Tomas Mateo was more than a friend, more than a co-worker, and more than a brother.
He, in a way, was my father, because he took care of me when a child his age, a child of 6-year-old.
Tomas always knew what he wanted to do with his life, but on Monday night in this very spot, in front of his own church, 32-year-old Tomas Mateo was murdered for reasons we still do not know.
He was a pastor. He built up 3 churches, 2 here, one here in Amarillo and 2 in Colorado. He was always joyful, always trying to help other people. Never, if they wanted to give up, he was always encouraging them, go forward, never back.
He made an impact wherever he went. And while he was able to achieve his dream of bringing people closer to God here, others will not be possible for him anymore.
Y lo que más recuerdo de mi hijo es que cuando tenía 7 años,
When he was 7 years old,
llegó y me abrazó y me dijo, mamá,
he came up to me and hugged me and said,
mamá, yo voy a conocer todo el mundo.
Mom, I'm gonna go all around the world.
Y yo le dije, sí, mi hijo, ¿qué vas a hacer? Y me dijo, mamá, yo voy a predicar la palabra de Dios y voy a andar en el mundo predicando.
And she asked, what are you gonna do? And he says, I'm gonna go and preach God's word all over the world.
But Tomas's family wants people to remember his life and not his death.
Just through his good deeds, everything he did. You know, he wasn't a resentful person. He wasn't an angry person. He was a person who just wanted to be a pastor. That was his dream since he was a kid.
And though his funeral is an ending of sorts, it's far from closure for Tomas's family. Reporting from Amarillo, I'm Madison Smith with ABC 7 News.
A family in White Deer was unpleasantly surprised this morning when they woke up to an unusual sight in their backyard.
It was the bizarre result of this week's unrelenting rain. ABC 7's Madison Smith has the story from White Deer.
When Cassidy Welsh and her family moved into their White Deer house a few months ago, they did not expect that their built-in storm shelter would eventually uproot itself.
When we got home with my 5-year-old son, we came through the back door. I was the first one that noticed something had gone on in the backyard. I wasn't sure what, so I had to stare at it for a good 5 minutes before it sank in what I was looking at on top of my grass.
She soon went to contact her insurance company to receive even more unfortunate news. The Welsh family says they're paying top dollar for insurance that still might not cover these damages.
It costs quite a bit extra to have a flooding policy. So we're looking at filing a claim and then probably not covering it for other structures because really it was due to flooding.
Cassidy's main goal is to have this issue resolved for the sake of her family.
So we really do want to get this fixed because it's important to me. I've never liked bad weather, and having a 5-year-old son and growing family, it's important to me that we're safe.
Through this whole ordeal, Cassidy and her family still remain grateful.
We have been so blessed to live in the small community we do and have such support from family and my work family and everyone on Facebook that has sent such sweet comments and love and regards to us and any advice. And we just want to say thank you to everyone that has shared our post or commented on our post. It really is appreciated. So,
reporting from White Deer, Madison Smith, ABC 7 News. That's exactly right. Potter County Republican Chairman Dan Rogers says this is nothing but an intimidation game that the Democrats are playing, while the candidate's attorney, Chris Hess, says the political affiliations don't matter.
They're trying to keep the voters from having a choice.
I spoke with Potter County Republican Chairman Dan Rogers today regarding lawsuits coming down against two of his candidates, Zachary Coleman and Carrie Haney.
Incumbent candidates, Democrat candidates, that are trying to bully me and bully my constable candidates, trying to intimidate us to take them off the ballot with no evidence.
Attorney Chris Hess wholeheartedly disagrees.
It's not about Democrats versus Republicans, it's right versus wrong. He has two ineligible candidates on the ticket, and he knows they're not eligible.
In one lawsuit, Potter County Constable Georgia Lee Estrada alleges that Coleman has falsified his residence. In the other, Potter County Constable Idella Thomas Jackson calls Haney's application invalid due to filing for two separate positions.
He's the one who has the power to put him on the ticket or take him off the ticket. He checked the box for Coleman on the application saying voter registration verified. He didn't verify it. Rogers is responsible for these candidates, and he's breaking the law.
I don't have the ability to make a determination whether anything on that application is true or not. That's up to my understanding. That's a court would have to make that determination.
Rogers believes that this is just an attack on his party.
I think it's because the swamp has gotten so deep in Washington, D.C. with the Democrat antics, the Pelosi antics, that it's risen to 3,600 feet in depth and is spilling over into the Panhandle. And they see they're getting by with this stuff nationwide, and now it's happening here in Amarillo.
I had a feeling Rogers would make this about Democrat versus Republican, but it's just not. I think he's trying to polarize the Democrat versus Republican issue, but this is a local election. Estrada and Jackson are very good constables, and their party affiliation really, it doesn't matter at a county level.
Now, Hess tells ABC 7 News that neither Coleman, Haney, or Rogers have been served yet, and they do not have any further comments on the accusations against them. In court on Tuesday, Hess will ask the judge if they can legally be forced to take their names off the ballots. He says if they do not comply, they will be held in contempt of court. In studio, I'm Madison Smith with ABC 7 News.
The 100th day of the ASARCO steelworker strike is tomorrow. The Amarillo plant shut down operations at the end of October.
ABC 7's Madison Smith went to the picket line today to see if there is optimism for a new deal in the new year.
It might be nearing 100 days, but the ASARCO steelworkers are far from discouraged.
We're willing to sit out here until we can reach a mutual agreement, something that's good for both parties. You know, we don't have a timeline.
But it's more than just sheer tenacity that keeps them going. It's community support.
We've had people go out to the hall and drop off donations. We have a pantry set up there for the guys so they can, we have diapers up there and we have food and everything else that they need.
Though with being out of work, they not only need that community support, but also union support.
We help with everything. We're paying bills, we're paying, car notes, house notes. We're helping these guys as much as we can, and a lot of these guys have part-time jobs where they can go and work and then still come out and walk the picket line.
But these strikers want more than just the typical pay raise. They want protections that have been stripped from them, like benefits for retirees and veterans, as well as language that would ensure that all active duty military persons will have a job to come back to when they return. But even after more than 3 months, workers have one thing to say to the people of Amarillo.
Thank you again, Amarillo, for supporting our guys out here on strike. We've had a lot of community support. these guys, like I said, they're your neighbors, they're your family members, your people that you go to church with. So any kind of support that you show is greatly appreciated.
In Amarillo, I'm Madison Smith with ABC 7 News.
The strike workers say the union has not been in contact with the company for more than a month.
ABC 7 reached out to ASARCO today for a comment on the strike, but we have not yet gotten a reply.